Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose Qualifier. Ladies and gentlemen, I am JoRoSaR, and we're here with the second series of the day. We're spawning in the top left position in the winner's bracket, representing Team Neurosoft, one of Europe's finest Protosses. It is YoDa, making a name for himself in WCS this year with a string of extremely strong results. But he's going up against one of the strongest Korean Terrans in the world, recently joining TCM Gaming to further his career. Let's see what he can do and if he can make it all the way to San Jose by finishing top 2 in this tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, we have YoDa. And you'd think with a name like YoDa, you could basically be everywhere at once. I really like to think he goes to tournaments like hobbling around with this little walking stick and just chilling out, setting up his keyboard at his desk, straining to get it on, and then tappy 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 3000 APM. Nothing. I would like nothing more than this. Now, of course, guys, on Nimbus, we have an in-base expansion, which is why you see an instantaneous Nexus first coming out from YoDa, and you also see the Command Center first coming out from YoDa. Neither player has scouted the other yet, as you can see. The visions here do not represent any sort of intent on scouting. YoDa now going to be sending this out. And YoDa, well, he's going to be a little bit happy with these positions here. Because the expansion of YoDa is towards YoDa in areas where it might be possible, for example, for warp prism harassment, so on and so forth, later on in the game. It just makes it a little bit easier to get into these kind of positions. Whereas on the other hand, for drops from YoDa, if he wants to attack the natural expansion, yes, okay, he can still do it by flying in from over here, but make no mistake, he'd much rather just do this. This just looks a lot easier. So if the positions were reversed, I can guarantee the Terran player would be dropping this like crazy. And let's see if YoDa chooses to utilize that later on in this game. YoDa's going to be scouting now and will spot that the Nexus first has been taken, so nothing out of the ordinary there. And, well, YoDa's actually just going to continue to scout for the entire map, but I think with the SCV here already, he might have an inkling that it's actually bottom left he needs to be looking at. What has he got coming up? YoDa's going to be following this up with 2 barracks. Going for that command center first means you're a little bit units light to start off with, so just wanting to make sure that he's adequately defended against early potential pressures. He did spot the Nexus first, though, which might explain why he's just chilling out here for a little bit. And he's actually, wow, he's going into a 3rd command center straight away. You can see that the barracks were not producing anything, hence me highlighting them just now. I was waiting to see what was going on. No gas being taken yet, just waiting for another 400. And the 3rd command center and the 3rd barracks now going on. This is all off a single Marine, guys. This guy is the MVP of this Terran game right now. And we have a pylon getting put down here for YoDa. He's going to continue scouting with the probe, though, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a sneaky snake hidden building just yet. The mothership core now is out. Both players, well, being quite defensive. YoDa because he's being very, very macro-oriented, and YoDa because he's just waiting to tech up right now. We've got the robotics facility going down for our Protoss player now, and the probe does see that the 3rd command center goes, oh, he just slumps to the ground like a little snail. That I thought probes like explode and have parts go flying everywhere. That actually made it look like a living being. Oh, this is where I'm embarrassingly forgetting my lore. Guys, are probes organic creatures or are they mechanical? Like, I don't mean in the game, I mean, like, are they living creatures? I'm not 100% certain. Why don't I know this? I actually don't know this. Someone in chat's going to tell me, I'm sure. Are probes living creatures? Anyway, we have no building coming out over here by this pylon. And just a single stalker wanting to spot, well, hang on a second, if you're about to pressure me with 5 or 6 Marines or something similar, I want to know about it. And we have a scan going down here inside the main base. We'll spot that the robotics facility is busy making something, but basically spots nothing else, and that's because we have the 3rd base going down here for YoDa. Now this is highly, highly droppable from a Terran point of view now. So he might be looking to deny that a little bit later on. But of course, he's got no tech. He's got 3 barracks and stim on the way. And at the same time, we've just started the Twilight Council, and we can see the robotics bay going down here for YoDa, and that was just after the scan, by the way. So this isn't something that YoDa has already spotted. The chat's chatting about old school maps right now. Old school Metalopolis, yeah! But that's because I liked abusing Marine Tank in the old school days, yeah! And I knew that was really broken and terrible, but that doesn't even matter right now. Bring back Zelnaga Caverns, man, then we'll talk Marine Tank. Oh, I love that map so much. Alright, we have a little bit of a push coming out of here from YoDa. He's got 10 Marines. Ooh, almost getting that probe. Well, there are 2 more. 3 more. Sacrifices being offered by the looks of things. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And we have, well, very nice photon overcharge going down, just forcing the energy out of that mothership core there at the cost of a couple of probes. Let's take a look at what the damage is. It's 5 workers killed to 0 this game so far. So doing a pretty decent job. 47 to 52 supply as far as workers are concerned. And this base is very, very exposed. And Welmu's got to be having that at the back of his mind right now. And I think YoDa basically just did a statement of intent. So, Stim will complete researching around the same time we start producing medevacs, so I think that's a really important point to note. Welmu hasn't seen the starport yet, but I'm pretty sure he can assume it's there. All he has to do is move his overseer, I almost said, just move his observer just a little bit, and that should be fine. Oh, well, as soon as I say that, guys, cast a curse time. It looks like that's not going to happen right now. We haven't got combat shield, by the way. Not yet for these Marines. And we're actually moving out for take 2 on the ground right now. Is YoDa going to spot this observer? Nope. Okay, gets away just about. And he's moving once again towards a 3rd base location. Now we have got 1 Colossus on the field, a 2nd one on the way, but do bear in mind that Extended Thermal Lance has not completed yet, and here we go, this Bioforce trying to, is he going to try and pult it up? No, he's not. Whoa, those force field kind of worked, question mark. Didn't actually trap anything aside from 1 Marauder and a Marine that managed to get away as well, but has Welmu bought enough time to get his 2nd Colossus and Extended Thermal Lancer? If he has, I'll tell you what, he'll be fine for now. Number of Vikings on the field, guys, 0 at the moment, and the first 2 medevacs only just started completing now. So if anything, Welmu, as long as he force fields well and can keep the army zoned out, potentially is a timing here where Extended Thermal Lance can be really useful to him. We'll see if he chooses to opt for something like that. Still 3rd and 4th starport units going to be medevacs here from YoDa. So he hasn't started on Viking production yet, despite having seen these Colossi. He's taking out the debris because, of course, with the splash damage that the Protoss can get later on in the game, small choke points tend to favor Protosses, and anything you can do to force him to have to use a lot more force fields to choke your army off is always a good thing. Zealot charge on the way now for our Protoss as well. And a concussive shell on the way for the Terran. Interestingly, oh no, there we go. Combat Shields has now completed, so he's starting concussive shell straight after that. My apologies. And we've got a decent number of barracks now here for YoDa, up to 5, and with the engineering bay constantly researching upgrades and a 2nd starport on the way as well, this guy's going to mean business. 4 Vikings at a time should negate these Colossi, assuming, you know, there's no incoming attack in the next minute or so. And right now, Welmu does look pretty chilled out and pretty defensive, to be perfectly honest. YoDa's got map control now. He's checking out the middle of the map. He's also got a single Marine on this high ground, basically, with the exception of Warp Prism harassment to the natural, which I'm a little bit sad that it hasn't happened this game so far. But also, that's why this factory is floating there, guys. So YoDa's onto it as well. Welmu's very defensive right now, and YoDa, at the moment, he's feeling okay. Now, that's not to say Welmu's behind or anything like that. I mean, he's got a pretty healthy army. He's at 158 supply versus 144. He's got 71 workers. This is great. A Protoss off of 3 bases that can do whatever the heck he wants. Fantastic. But some harassment might be useful, and it looks like our prayers have been answered. There is the Warp Prism coming in from him as well. So we'll see what the Team NeuroSoft player can concoct here. This Zealot will even spot the factory. So the Warp Prism's going to go up here and jink around, I hope, to avoid the factory. That would be pretty sick, and that means he might be able to get some damage done against this natural. So let's keep an eye out on that Warp Prism, guys. I'm super excited to see if this can do much damage. We have a small hit squad here trying to kill off a single Zealot, and then he went, oh my god, guys, there's more than one of them. He brought his friends. So he's going to head on out. And a pylon going down in plain sight of YoDa right now. All right. So, where's the Warp Prism? Here's the Warp Prism, and he doesn't dodge the factory, but you know what? That's okay. He's beelining it into the natural expansion at the same time as a potential huge attack here. But look at the number of Vikings already out on the field. There are 10 at the moment here. Is it going to be enough to do any damage? Nothing is warped in from the Warp Prism yet. Well, we need to try and do some damage at the same time as this. The Vikings are coming in. These Colossi are falling like flies, ladies and gentlemen. The Vikings aren't being targeted down, and that really concerns me right now. A lot of Archons in this mix, but no more Colossi, and oh dear, now comes the Warpins. Welmu, if there was a way for him to do it before this engagement started, I feel like that would have been fantastic for him, but now, ooh, he needs to watch out with the Mothership Core. What's he doing with the Mothership Core? That's going down. Only good for a time warp here, but a decent amount of damage done to the natural. 22 workers killed versus 6 at the moment in favor of Welmu. 23 now, so he's not doing too badly at all with that. The problem is his main army has just been absolutely decimated. Yes, it's 70 versus 49 workers. Yes, these zealots ended up doing a fantastic amount of damage. Nobody can deny that. But how is he going to defend this base? The Mothership Core is gone. The Colossi are all gone. He basically has to defend this with gateway units. And admittedly, 10 gateways is quite sizable. He might be able to do... Oh, wow. And potential for overstimming here, actually, it has to be said. YoDa has so much DPS with this army, but it's also so fragile. This is going to be so close. That single Colossus could end up MVPing it up here. Look how many of those units he killed despite being completely naked with no support. Both sides absolutely tearing into each other at the moment. Welmu trying to camp at the production structure. SCV's being brought to defend. I think YoDa knows if he defends this, his army should be able to clean up the rest of the game, and that's exactly what he's doing. Stim on all the bio. These zealots going to get picked up, and what of this army here? Yes, there are a lot of units, but they are very low health. Is it going to matter, though? Is the DPS way too much? Here comes some charge lots. It doesn't look like they're going to put more than a dent in this army, and the supply for Welmu falling to 40 out of 164 versus 125. GG is called, and TCM Gaming's YoDa, ladies and gentlemen, wins game number 1 of this best of 3 series.